Woolworths looter Mbuso Mdluli has been sentenced to 3 years imprisonment, suspended for 5 years. Mdluli trended when, during the July Unrest in 2021, was filmed looting from a store and putting the goods in his Mercedes-Benz. He's also been fined 1,000 rand for not displaying a registration on his car. eNCA reporter Lethiwe Mdluli was in court and she'll bring us the latest now just to tell us what happened. Lukele, good afternoon. So tell us more about the sentencing of Mr. Mbuso Mdluli.
Well, but then this case has been quite a lengthy one. You'd remember that back in March, Mbuso Mdluli pleaded guilty to 2 charges of theft and also contravening the Road Management Act. And you remember that his case stems back from 2021 during the July Unrest that took place here in KwaZulu-Natal and also in the Gauteng province. But here you'd remember that Mbuso was captured on video exiting a Woolworths store in Glenwood, and that video trended on social media, and shortly after that he was arrested, and during his arrest he has shared that he suffered from the hands of the police, but we will be talking to him about that. He says that this whole ordeal has been quite a hectic one for him. He's suffering depression as a result of this, and part of the reason why he's suffering is because of the amount of time that this case has taken. When we were in court in March, we heard from his lawyer or his representative of how this case has taken a toll on him and also his family. But during that time, he did plead guilty, and the court then said sentencing for the end of May. But unfortunately, in May, the matter could not proceed because Mbuso and a social worker or a correctional services official had an altercation, a war of words between them, and the lawyers representing Mbuso Mdluli had requested for an independent person to intervene and compile a report to assess whether Mdluli was suitable for correction or for supervision. Then the matter was moved to July, and today, of course, he was sentenced, and some of the sentences also include 18 months correctional supervision, which basically means that he will be under house arrest. We also understand that he will be serving community service for 16 hours per month, and he's also been fined 1,000 rand for not displaying a license plate on his car. When the magistrate delivered the sentence, she did indicate that the charge of theft that Mbuso Mdluli agreed upon or pled guilty to is quite a serious one, and these are some of the things that they had to consider as the court to make a final sentence. So when the magistrate did deliver that sentence, but then this is what she had to say.
You are sentenced to 3 years imprisonment, of which is suspended for a period of 5 years on condition that you're not convicted of theft or attempted theft, which is committed during the period of suspension. Further, you are sentenced in terms of Section 276 1H of the Criminal Procedure Act to 18 months correctional supervision. The sentence of correctional supervision shall be subjected to the following conditions. You are placed under house arrest for the full duration of the sentence. You are to perform free community service for a period of 16 hours per month. The Commissioner of Correctional Services is authorized to suspend a part of this community service not exceeding 50% and to reintroduce such period. You are ordered to submit yourself for the completion of the following programs at your own expense.
Now, I understand that were you able or not to speak to Mbuso Mdluli about his sentence that's been suspended for 5 years?
Well, but then shortly after court proceedings concluded, I was able to speak to him just so that we can get his side of the story, because he has indicated that he wants to share his side of the story as to why he did what he did. During court proceedings, though, back in March, he did share through his lawyer that when he committed that crime of theft and taking that basket from the Woolworths store, it was a spur of a moment thing. He didn't think about it, and only when he trended, he realized that he had committed a crime. But today when I was speaking to him, he did indicate that he's willing to share his side of the story. I mean, he has shared with me that he wants to talk about the way he was arrested, which was quite a very out of this world experience. He said he's saying that his family was quite shocked that a lot of cars were approached his house during the time when he was being arrested, and he was treated like a common criminal. So he is saying that he's also suffered in the hands of the police when he eventually was arrested for committing that crime. So he has indicated that he's willing to speak to us and share his side of the story. But today, emotions were running very high. We saw his mom crying shortly after the sentence or the sentencing, and he was also looking a bit basically he didn't look like himself. He did share that for now he's just taking everything in, but he is going to indicate when he's ready to respond.
Thank you very much, Lethiwe Mdluli, our reporter, just giving us an update on this case from our studios in Durban.